Welcome back to the Tim Hayes YouTube channel, and I'm off camera right now because I'm showing you my Star Wars Jabba the Hutt action figure collection of Jabba and all his palace denizens, including Princess Leia as his new slave girl, and C-3PO forced into becoming Jabba's new interpreter droid, and then Lando is in disguise as a skiff guard. And this is Star Wars action figure collecting, or no, shoot. Well, it's early in the morning, but it's Star Wars action figure mini haul. The final action figure haul is a 2025 part 4. And I originally intended for this to be just up to 4 parts, but I decided to focus mainly on the two newest Jabba the Hutt Denizens action figures added to my collection, and I of course had to set up Jabba's palace. And I've got most of the palace denizens set up, ranging from modern Hasbro to vintage Kenner, and some customs and reproductions. But you see, I've got the two pig guards, and those were the newest new additions to my collection back in 2025. Yeah, it was back in 2025. Hasbro announced that they would be re-releasing 3.75-inch Gamma Ring Guards deluxe figures as Target exclusives, and I managed to get buy two off of Target.com. So now, go through those two figures mainly. And Jabba has most of his palace court all around him. Yeah, I only have Yarna is only other dancing girl slave. Not Jabba's favorite like Leia, who took the place of Oola. But these two pig guards are two figures that I bought from Target.com. They're called deluxe figures, but aside from the size of them, they're not really deluxe. And I just want to give you fair warning, if you buy one of these, this fake fur stuff, does fall off a bit. And each figure comes with this, like, guard sort of stick with the sharp points on it, and then little meat cleaver. Don't know if that's, yeah, meat cleaver sort of axe. Yeah, each one of the figures comes with these two accessories, and they come with this little axe. A little bit medieval looking, I think. But yeah, I think maybe in the past in some European countries when they used to execute people by beheading them if they didn't have the guillotine. I think they would use it, you'd have somebody holding this and chop off their head. So each figure comes with these two axes, this one looking like a head chopping axe, and then a little guard stick that looks like they used it probably stab people with. And the thing I hate about these newer figures, as opposed to the classic Kenner ones, these little helmets that the pig guards have on them will fall off. So I think these are more deluxe figures because of the size, since they just give you these two weapons plus this. You don't have any guns, just the more primitive weapons. I'll grab the other one. Yeah, I originally was going to show off the last of my Return to Tatooine figures in this part, but I decided I'll save those for part 5 of my final action figure hauls of 2025. Yeah. See, he's got the other two. He's got the other axe and that other, like, spear, like, thing. Forget what they call this. Maybe. But let me show you something. See, the helmet comes off very easily. So if you want the helmet to stay on, you really gotta glue it on. You can turn his head a little bit. And the arms, they got elbow articulation and it's got knee articulation. Oh, shit. Dropped him. Good thing. He's got little itty bitty ears under there. Shouldn't have tried to hold him like that. And you see, I've got the original Max Rebo band that Kenner put out, Miss Snooty, Ice Noodles, and that's a reproduction microphone. But I've got Max Rebo and his original keyboard, but it's missing a few keys, and then I got the reproduction mic stand and this little clarinet thing for Droopy McCool, the eyeless pig guy. There's Book of Boba Fett Retro Collection Tusken Raider. And then that is Yeah, that little white droid is torture droid from Jabba's palace. He came with this Jabba, but EV-99 that's the Stan Solo reproduction of the Kenner original figure. And a man, that's another Stan Solo reproduction, and then that big guy right there, that's Next 17 custom. There's Hasbro's Star Wars Legacy Collection figure of Efont Mon, and then Star Wars Vintage Collection Tusken Raider, and those two guys, those two aliens behind the Tusken Raider, those are some customs made by the Next 17, and everything else is mainly Hasbro. Yeah, that's the Hasbro Retro Collection Tusken Raider right there, and then yeah, everything else is pretty much Hasbro. Oh, and that Kenner looking Barada, that is the Stan Solo reproduction of the last 17 Barada figure. That's the one Hasbro made when they took over Kenner. And this is the Stan Solo reproduction of the vintage Kenner one from 1985. And then there's the other guy that looks a little bit like Barada, who's part of the vintage collection. And then behind Lando, I've got some Power of the Force 2 Jawa, and then there's another Power of the Force 2 Jawa standing on Jabba's dais with Slave Leia and the rubber chain from the Power of the Force 2 Jabba's Prisoner Leia, but that's one of the two vintage collection Slave Leias. I believe this is just the Sandstorm version, but I put the rubber chain on her since the Sandstorm one doesn't have the chain. And then this Salacious Crumb came with this Jabba. And then Bib Fortuna was sold separately, and then Yak Face, who's way back there, he was sold separately, as was Kenner Colors Boba Fett, and then Bosk. And then two human skiff guards. Those were the two of the four Jabba's Palace denizens that came with Reese and Squidhead. So mainly did this video just to set up the Jabba's Palace diorama with my two pig guards that I bought in late 2025. So C-3PO and Princess Leia are still prisoners of Jabba, and the two torture droids, they've got R2. Yeah, I bought this, I believe, in spring of this year. I haven't opened up the sail barge bartender R2-D2 yet. Those three figures down there, plus the Luke that comes with that land speeder, those will be in part 5 of my Star Wars action figure mini haul videos, final action figure hauls of 2025 part 5. So since Slave Leia is one of my favorites, or Dancing Girl Leia, not that she dances at all, but this bikini-like outfit's basically a belly dancing harem girl outfit. And Jabba's Sultan's evil Sultan slug. There's another alien skiff guard in front of Leia, and then Nikto, this other one there. Forget this guy's name behind the pig guard. And I've got two of the skiff guard Klaatu's. There's one there, and then there's another one in front of the fat dancer Yarna Del Gargon, and then there's Weequay, and I think that's the regular version of Klaatu, but I believe in the vintage collection, and he's called Woof. And there's Star Wars Power of the Force 2 Greedo, but I'm having it be the other alien that looks like Greedo that's in Jabba's palace. And then I've got the human bounty hunter Dengar. And there's the headhunting bounty hunter Amanaman, and then who I showed it earlier, and then Bosk, and then Salte Mare Yakface. And I got this backdrop from the Next 17 as I did the Rancor pit trap floors. So enjoy what you see at Jabba's palace. This is going to be changed again, so there'll be more room on the table for other things. So I hope you enjoyed part 4 of what'll be 5 parts of Star Wars action figure mini hauls. Next one will be part 5. This was part 4. And part 5 will be the return to Mos Eisley on return to Tatooine, since I've got Mos Eisley, Cantina, Chewbacca, Han, and Obi-Wan, and then the land speeder with the farm boy Luke. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm Tim Hayes, and keep an eye out for more toy collecting videos, as well as some physical media videos on the Tim Hayes YouTube channel. So I'm Tim Hayes, and I hope you enjoyed the Star Wars toy collecting video. Final mini hauls of 2025. Good night. And last call. As Jabba's nightly party winds down,